Hi, welcome to another episode of The Lord's Delight. So, I'm going to start today with a question that has made me think. Let's see, you might be a leader somewhere, whether it is in your home where you lead your kids, at workplace, or in school when you have to work in a team and you have to lead. Being in a leadership position, what are some of your top challenges that you face? Take some time to think about it. When you actually have to manage a team of people, whether it be family, whether it be co-workers, colleagues, or subordinates at work, anywhere, what are some of the top challenges? The first thing for me that comes into mind is actually getting them unified. Then I started to think about whether something is being communicated properly and whether they are understanding there is problem with how they perceive. After thinking for a while, I realized that all the challenges that I was listing is on the other side. Whenever I'm saying top challenges with leadership, it didn't occur to me to think of what would be the flaws from my side that are making it harder. I have to tell you that just gave me a pause right there when I realized it. So, what were your top challenges, and were they associated things that has to do with other people? But if you found flaws in the way you lead, kudos to you. I am not that kind of person. I have realized that though I think I'm humble, I'm this and I'm that, all the problems that I listed had to do with other people. That gives me a pause. And it brought to mind Psalm 23. Let me read it for you. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Here is a perfect leader. He probably has n number of complaints that he could say when he leads me. I am not a humble obeying sheep, right? If that is so, there was no need to talk about the example of the one running away and him going after it. I have been that sheep. I have been the sheep, the one of the 99 in the pen sometimes, but I have been the one that ran away sometimes too. So when you look at leadership and the challenges, can you imagine somebody who has more challenges than Christ in leading you and me? I am not an easy person to herd. And recently I've come to appreciate the phrase like herding cats, because a leader needs to be trusted. Only if the team has trust in the leader's ability and the skill, they'll be able to listen and obey the leader. So that translates to me, I need to have trust in my Lord, and I need to know him for me to understand his voice amidst the voice of so many voices that I hear in a day. On a worldly level, we can vocalize our thoughts to our team and they'll know it's us talking. But when we walk with God, we need to be able to hear his voice. Only his sheep know his voice. So we should be able to be at a place where we can actually know that that is his voice. For that, we need to know his word. And also, here is a shepherd who is leading me. He says, I shall not want. Can I clearly say that today? No. Because a little bit before I was thinking of, I want this, I need this, and that is like, But that is in stark contrast to what I was reading. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And a lot of times I try to squeeze my wants into my need list. I don't know if you do that during prayer, but I do. So, where is that discontent coming from? Bible clearly says, He is my shepherd and I shall not want. He will always provide at the right time. And if I am lacking, He has allowed it for something, somewhere. So why is there always a need to know this is missing, to complain to Him or to bring it to His attention? He is not like a worldly team leader who either missed a deadline or didn't know what you need. Do you need a particular software or whatever it is that you need to finish a task? He knows what you need. He knows what I need, and He knows exactly how to give it to us. But then this desperation, I feel like, comes from a part of not trusting Him and His word that He has already promised. So right now, this week, I am in the phase where I'm praying for that kind of contentment and faith that is just unwavering, that has such a trust in Him that I want to be able to trust Him completely. Isn't that, as a leader, what we want? As a leader, you and I, what we want when we tell our ideas and pitch stuff, we want our team to rally around, just work at it wholeheartedly in our ideas for the success. So, isn't that the same thing that He wants from us? So at one part, when we are in our worldly leaders, we think differently. But when we become followers, we think differently. We can't have two different mentalities. We have to have the same mentality whether we are leading the world or obeying Christ. Our mentality should be of the same. Just because we have switched positions, we can't just completely think differently. And I also want to point out a second thing. He's a God who knows when we need rest, when we need food. He makes us lie down in green pastures. He leads us beside still waters. He restores our soul. He knows when we just need a break from everything. I have been doing a lot of things. And last week for me was a complete rest from every single social activity that I will usually do. And I needed that time to rest. So, what do you need right now? Listen to God. Sometimes it might not be doing. Sometimes it is harder to do nothing, to be still, to obey the leader's voice. So, as we are leaders out there, we are His followers here, sheep. We need to be able to obey when He says something. And the final part that just boggles my mind is, it says in verse 5, He prepares the table before me in the presence of my enemies. So let's say there is always somebody in a team that criticizes you or says, oh, this idea is flawed, and always tries to rally up the crowd against you. When that person is around, wouldn't you be more cautious? And if you feel like they're coming to the meeting, wouldn't you feel more prepared and alert, and you will not be in a celebratory mode? I mean, I'm guessing all this based on what I would feel. But here it says, when the enemies are present, there will be a celebration. You realize when God sets the table, there's food and there's like anointing, you're not going to be focusing on what the enemy is up to. God is saying, even as a sheep, you need to be wholly focused on Him and enjoying Him, that you forget those detractors. It is very hard to do, because when you come to His presence, a lot of times the first thing that comes up bubbling out of it is what we don't have, what we need, the lack. Is that what the first thing that comes up when you try to meet with God? I am guilty of this. But let's try not to do that this week. When you come into His presence, just thank Him for the fullness, the areas that you're so blessed. And you know what? You might feel very different this week. Let's take that as a challenge, and I am going to do with you guys. Every day this week, when I come to God's presence, what I'm going to do is start with the fullness that I have, whatever it might be. The lack, I'll save it for last. I'm not saying that I'll never pray for it, but it'll be the last in my list. So have a great week. I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.